Hello, my loves. Welcome to Pain to Joy. My name is Danielle Sutty, and I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for being here today. I didn't realize it, but Canadian Thanksgiving is this weekend, and although I won't be celebrating here in Italy, I am someone who believes that there is always something to be thankful for. And so as we begin today, I invite you to place one hand on your heart and a hand on your lower belly. And if it feels comfortable for you, taking a deep, long inhale and an even longer exhale. And let's just take a moment to think about something that we are thankful for. There have been many studies about how gratitude really does change the brain. And I know from personal experience that there are times when we can feel in a funk, when we can be caught up in all the things we feel are not going right. But I truly believe that my practice of living a joyful life, despite the pain and the challenges that life brings to all of us, it is a practice of mindfulness and thankfulness. Every single morning before my feet hit the ground, one thing I am thankful for, two things I am thankful for. Reflecting at night, what were some of the amazing moments from the day before? Often I'm thankful for a smile, a hug. I'm thankful this past week for so much connection with fellow students at my school and other friends that I made the last time I was here in Florence and the time before that. And I get it. I get that sometimes it can feel like there's nothing to be thankful for, that things are going sideways. But I promise you, if you can just close your eyes and think about one thing, it can be as simple as being thankful for the pillow that you lay your head upon, being thankful that it envelops your neck and your head and lets you rest softly. And for me, when I think about things that I'm thankful for, I really feel it as I'm talking about the pillow. I have a pillow that I take everywhere I go because years ago I was in an accident, and the injuries to my upper body and neck and the way my brain has become hypersensitive. If my neck and my head aren't a certain way on this pillow, my brain's not happy, my neck's not happy, my pain levels can increase. And so this week, the invitation would be to maybe the day you hear this, think about one thing you're thankful for. And the subsequent day, think about one more thing that you're thankful for. I am always thankful for my family and my friends. As I say that, I think about a brief exchange I had with my niece yesterday, finally finding the flavor of gelato she had asked me to find to have on her birthday that was a few weeks back, and I finally came across it. One of the ones she asked for was a mint chocolate chip, so there was sort of an after-eight flavor yesterday at a gelateria called La Caraya, and I forgot that they had a smaller shop near where my school is and not far from where I'm living. I also got Rocher, which is a version of Ferrero Rocher, because I know my mom loves that chocolate. And so I'm thinking of my family and I'm thankful for them. I'm incredibly thankful for all of you listening now. Thank you for listening. As I've mentioned in previous episodes, listening is loving. Thank you for listening. Thank you for loving me. I was about to head out to the train station and go on a little adventure today. One of the things I had wanted to do since I've been here was take some side trips, maybe once a week, an hour away, an hour and a half away by train. Train travel is really accessible for my brain. Bus travel, not so much. Being in a car can be tricky at times. And so I really want to take advantage of the possibilities to see villages nearby, towns that I haven't seen before. But as I was getting ready, I started to think about the relationship I was in a couple of months ago, I guess, prior to leaving Canada, and how wonderful this gentleman was, and how he was showing up for me consistently, morning, night. He came to my house with vegetables from his garden. He helped me fix things. He went to his job site and brought tools. And I had mentioned as well this idea that when we have people in our lives that maybe we feel aren't showing up for us in ways that we want, I believe there will always be people that will. But what I was reflecting on this morning was twofold. The first thing is, if we want people to show up for us in certain ways, I believe we first have to show up for ourselves in those ways. We are often looking externally for love, looking externally for validation, looking externally for someone to do something for us. But first, are we showing up for ourselves? Are we doing things for ourselves that nourish us, that bring us joy, that keep us healthy, that make our lives more fun? Are we doing that for ourselves? Because if we're not doing that for ourselves, then we are putting so much pressure on the people that we love, the people in our lives, maybe new people if we're single and we want to be dating, searching for love. No, we have to search for that within ourselves. We have to give that to ourselves. And if we want somebody to be a consistent communicator with us, then we need to hone our communication skills. We need to be consistent communicators. We need to show up for people morning and night. If that's the kind of communication we like, then we need to put it out there. So all these things that we want, that we desire, that we think that we want, that we think that we desire, that we put outside of ourselves, like someone's going to do it for us. No, we need to do it for ourselves. If you want people to be kind to you, first, be kind to yourself, and second, be kind to others. And that's a practice. It is a practice. I have been on Facebook Marketplace for a while now, attempting to sell Vinny, my 1979 motorhome. He's so amazing. We've had some good times. I did 2 solo trips, one down to Waterton and another to Jasper, and it was so beautiful, and it was a really huge time in my life where I showed myself even more what I was capable of. And so in any case, I've been trying to sell Vinny on Marketplace, and I have gotten so many wild, sometimes wonderful messages. Clearly, people haven't read the ad at times, and I could easily start to get really frustrated and be unkind in my responses to people. But that's not what I would want for me. Maybe they didn't read the ad. Maybe they just saw the picture and they thought, that looks cool, and asked some questions about it. I've had people be unkind to me. I think I mentioned it in another episode. But that does not mean that I'm going to be unkind back. So all these little things in our lives that we desire, love, kindness, and maybe those are just things I desire, but consistent communication, reciprocity, these are all things that I need to share with others. These are things that I need to do. And what I've learned in the last few years is not everyone is going to be capable to give back what you give. I'm a giver. I'm a lover. I'm a recovering people pleaser. And I'm aware, I'm acutely aware, and have become more acutely aware in the last couple of years of how much love I give out and how much energy I give out. And I need to be responsible to create boundaries around that. I need to be responsible to protect my energy, to not just give it out to every single person that walks by on the street. And I can choose to share my love and my energy and my time with people that I love, with friends, new and old. And there are going to be times when those friends and family and gentlemen that I might be dating, there are going to be times where they might not be capable of returning the same love and the same energy. And if that's a relationship that's gone on for a long, long time, then of course it's like a marriage. There's a flow, there's an ebb and a flow. Sometimes you're giving 80 and the other person can only give 20. I have a friend where sometimes I'll have a week where things are going topsy-turvy, and then the next week it happens with her, and we go, oh, thank goodness, my week was last week and your week was this week, and we balance each other out. And thank goodness a few years ago, I had read The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and I might not get it right, but one of the agreements is to not take things personally. And when people don't reply, or when people aren't able to show up for us in ways that we maybe want and desire, I know for me, there's been times in my life where I first think, maybe I've done something wrong, maybe this person is upset with me. My brain used to go to all these places that it no longer goes. Thank goodness for mindfulness and meditation and self-compassion and getting older and experiencing life. And when we begin to not take things personally and acknowledge that everybody is doing the best that they can, that people are tuckered out, people are tired, people are hanging by a thread. People are doing the best that they can. And so when I speak about showing up for yourself first, showing up for others in ways that you would want them to show up for you, not everybody's going to be able to show up for you in the ways that you want them to or you desire. And that's okay too. That's okay too. We can take some space from those people, or we can just accept that everybody is at a different point on their journey. And in this chapter of your life, you might have more space, more time, more energy, more love to give. And next year, people that you love, friends, family, they might be in a space where they have more to give, and that's when you need it. I have a friend who's a lovely gentleman I met years ago at Landmark, and he used to always talk about the delivery system. The idea being that maybe you have someone in your life, a pivotal, important person, that didn't or can't or isn't showing up for you in ways that you desire, but maybe you have 3 other people that are. But we look so long at the people that aren't, that the person that isn't. And sometimes we make it about ourselves. Sometimes we make ourselves wrong. We must have done something. We want to fight for their attention. We want to fight for their love. And I'm so thankful that I finally am in a place now where I'm not going to chase anyone. I'm not going to sit around and think that I did something wrong. Gosh, how often do you get a text from someone that you love dearly and you're so excited to get it and see it, and a million other things happen and you just forget? You forgot. And it's not because you don't love them, and it's not because you don't care, and it's not because you didn't love that text. I flag things all the time because maybe I'm out, maybe it's not the right time. I wish that on WhatsApp I could pin way more conversations so I can come back to them. I have some friends, most of my friends at this point live far away, and we have long distance voice notes similar to podcast conversations, and sometimes it's a week or 2 before we connect again. And coming back to the original thought I had to share this when I'm thinking about this lovely gentleman a few weeks back who is showing up for me in ways that I show up, in ways that I enjoy, in ways that work for me and my attachment style, etc. I can be sad that that doesn't exist anymore, or I can be so happy that I experienced it. I can be so glad that I connected with someone who was capable. I can be so happy that someone desired to show up for me, and it wasn't a struggle, and it wasn't a chase, and it wasn't a challenge. And depending on how we grew up, and depending on how past relationships have gone, and past triggers and past traumas, we can spend the rest of our lives chasing. We can spend the rest of our lives thinking about what we don't have and who's not doing what for us. And I just want to remind myself, and I want to remind you, that first of all, we have all the love and everything that we need inside of us. And whatever we want to receive, we have the power and the possibility and the capability to give it to ourselves first. And we can share as much love as we want and we desire with people that we love, with new connections. And if people aren't able to return that love, to return that energy in ways that work for us, it has nothing to do with us. Sometimes people aren't capable. Sometimes people are in a difficult season. And maybe that's when we need to show up for them more. Because as much as I love consistency and reciprocity, life isn't always 50-50. Lately, when I go shopping here, I'll ask for a bag, and I'll always say, because I need to be balanced. And sometimes when I think about a scale and a balance, it's even keel, it's 50-50, but often the balance in our relationships, in our marriages, in our friendships, in our family, it's like a teeter-totter. Sometimes you're up, and maybe you're up because that other person on the other side of the teeter-totter is holding you down. They've got you. They've got your back. They're loving you. I know for me to be far away from family and friends, I can do this because I know that I'm loved and supported wherever I am. And I also know that I love and support myself, that I've got my own back, that I will be okay no matter what. So this Canadian Thanksgiving weekend, even if you listen to this when it's Christmas or Easter or none of the above, my invitation would be to think about where maybe in your relationships you're making another person wrong for not getting back to you in ways that you desire, or for not connecting or supporting you in ways that you desire. Without judgment, just observing. May we continue to remember that everyone is fighting their own battles, that people are doing the best that they can. What I've seen more and more in the last few months and the last few weeks is that, like I said earlier, people are hanging by a thread. I think back to times when we lived in villages. We had a village. We could support each other. Not everybody has a village. And it's up to us to reach out to friends, family, loved ones. Sometimes when we're at our lowest and maybe we're not feeling the love, a way to feel love is to reach out and let somebody know you're thinking of them, to let somebody know that you're loving them from afar, that you're there if they need anything. And it can seem counterintuitive when you're really in a space of feeling like you're in a space of lack. But what I've noticed is in those times, it can be so beneficial to reach out and ask somebody else, how can I be great for you? How can I help you? Or just send a virtual hug and some love via voice note, via text, via email, via snail mail. It's in those moments where we feel like we're not getting everything that we need that I feel it's important to shut it down and ask, what can I do for others? How can I help? How can I serve? How can I love you more? So I am making a commitment to you that I will reach out to people in my life, that I will be thinking of you in whatever season you are in. Maybe it's your season of being the supporter, or maybe right now you're the one that needs support. And feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at danielle.suddy, Facebook Danielle Suddy. I know it's old school, but you can email me at dksuddy@yahoo.ca if you feel like you need support. We are here to love and be loved. We are all doing the best that we can. And I will admit that I want to do better. I want to thank all of you for listening. Thank you for showing up for me. And I hope that I can show up for you in ways that feel good and resonant and loving. And I also want to acknowledge you for whatever season you are in. You are loved, you are needed, you are necessary. Sometimes we're exploding with joy and everything seems to be going our way, and there are other times where we feel like our lives are falling apart. But in both of those scenarios and in every single moment, you are loved, you are supported, I love you, and you don't always have to be the one that's supporting everybody else. You can allow yourself to ask for help. You can tip the scales of support, and you can let yourself be up on that teeter-totter being supported. And when you get your energy back, and when you feel like you can be the one to support others. And wherever you're at, it is absolutely more than okay. And I am wishing you love on your journey, hoping that you find moments to be thankful for, people to be thankful for, experiences and delicious, delightful moments to be thankful for. Sending you so, so, so much love from my thankful, thankful, thankful heart to yours.